Okay, how do again? Social care manager, home services in Dublin, and former member of the board of Carew. It's the last one, and this one is it's kind of a bit, it's a very broad one, demonstrating understanding of the importance of one's own personal growth and development in order to engage in effective professional practice, whilst developing the personal skills of self care and self awareness in the role. And if you would just bear with me, I will share some personal anecdotes because I think it's probably the best way for me to explain this. So, for any of you that have watched any of my vlogs or listened to Fiona maybe talking about it, I was born in 1965 in a mother and baby home. I was brought up in a very poor family, poor working class family, and had a tough enough childhood. Now, I'm not going woe was me, but a tough enough childhood. Got thrown out of school. Didn't do a junior leaving cert, any of that sort of stuff, and I started work when I was 15, and I worked in the hair and fashion industry for 21 years, whereby then I went back to college. And during all of that time, I'd done some work around post adoption peer support work, but I didn't really realise how damaged I was, and a lot of relationships and behaviours that are portrayed were very maladaptive, entirely driven by my own personal traumas. A lot of stuff I didn't recognise. And when I started to study, one of the first things I studied, the very first thing I studied, was Rogerian counselling and NUI Minute, and it was fantastic. Really, really enjoyed it. But what I enjoyed about it was that within all of the academic pieces that I was learning, I began to see little bits of myself. So really what that helped me do was understand myself. I struggled with some of the academic stuff, but I really began to look internally. And the more I looked internally, the more I realised that I was not equipped to do the work that a counsellor would do at that time. And this really it intrigued me, and it drove me forward to try and understand myself more, my own personal growth. And between then, so that was 1999 to 2002, and between then and now, we'd say the guts of 24 years, 23 years. Bar COVID, I've studied at level 7, 8 or 9 for 20 of those years. And I've studied everything that is, not everything, but everything I've studied is aligned broadly to social care. So I've studied counselling, psychology, disability studies, self-injury awareness and harm, applied social care management, and clinical supervision, and lots of other. They're all the academic ones, but lots of other, short courses, 6 months, 1 year courses, etc. And every single one of them has opened a window deep inside me, and has helped me to understand what motivates and drives me. I think one of the times I was down in the college with Fiona and with some of you guys, one of the questions I asked was, what is your why? Do you understand what motivates you? And it's not the wage or because I love social care or etc. etc. It's much deeper. What motivates you? What intrinsically motivates you? And what motivates me is the fact that all through my life, there were things that happened to me that I didn't understand. Nowadays, they would probably say that, that I have, that I'm living with attachment problems. And I didn't understand. I didn't understand how to conduct myself. Didn't understand why I felt rejected all the time. Didn't understand why I conducted why and the way I conducted myself in relationships. Didn't understand why I wanted to be, the best boy in school, but couldn't hold my temper and all of that sort of stuff. So when you're looking at all of this sort of stuff, you've really got to try and give yourself a fairly complex understanding of the importance of your own growth and development, because you can't be effective in professional practice if you haven't developed a deep knowledge of what makes you tick, TICK, and how you look after yourself, and what do you do for your development. So when you recognize a lesser strength within your social care fabric, how do you decide what's going to fill in that lesser strength and become a strength? It takes quite a bit of reflection, quite a bit of insight, and looking at, very tied into the last one that I did, but looking at, society, culture, family makeup, in individual harm and growth, trauma, privilege, gender, just, it all melds together. And the better you understand you, the better chance you have of being really effective, being able to develop your skills of self-care and self-awareness, which will allow you to have better boundaried relationships with those that we care for in social care settings, which will make you a much more effective social care practitioner. And finally, if you're going to the Social Care Ireland conference this year, I know Fiona is doing a presentation, but I'm doing a presentation too on the second day in relation to clinical supervision. So come and see me. I hope you've enjoyed the few little bits there, and I hope there's some pieces of wisdom in there that'll help you along the way. Cheers.